is it? It's a big day. Did you get any sleep? Yeah. I went to bed at 1 a.m. or so. Oh. What time did you wake up? 3 a.m.
It's only 2 hours, Apollo. But at least you have me. And the amazing Mr. Hat. Here, looking at you, kid. Good luck today, Apollo. That voice. Oh yeah. Get any sleep? Mr. White. I was going out of my mind with boredom, so I signed myself out earlier today. Somehow knew that place makes fake piano playing at the end of the pasta joint seem almost fun. Daddy, do you know who prosecuted Gavin's witnesses today? Take a guess. How about Little Plum? That showman think of a mom? Nope. Guess again. It's too bad, you know. Speaking of moms, you need to find me a new mommy one of these days, Daddy. It's early morning and you're at it already, Trucy. Okay, see, this is why I don't buy the father-daughter relationship. So, Mr. White, you know who the prosecution's witness is? Alia Chiala, your client's fiancé. He's going to be a witness? That seems odd. Why would he testify against her own fiancé? You have to wonder what Gavin's up to. Something's going down today. That much is clear. Well, not to worry. I've got my panties back. If we can't find a killer, I'll pour one out of there. Court is now in session for the trial of Rocky Kitaki. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is rummed up and it's a sold-out house. Very well. To recap, yesterday's witness seemed more guilty than any other party. Guilty of panty snatching. We did find out one thing for certain. There were 3 people in the park at the time of the murder. The witness, the victim, and the defendant. Correct, Judge. And today I'd like to do something a little new age. I'd like to look at this horrible crime from the outside. The outside? The acquisition of the murder weapon. The preparation for the act. How the defendant told all you see to his brother, his betrothed, his fiancée, Judge, his partner for life, with no chance for parole. Very well. You may show the lucky lady to the stand. Your name and occupation, Furlan. Helena Chiala, my occupation is future wife. Traditional values, I respect that. Too many brides these days can't even weave baskets blindfolded. Underwater. Here today as a witness for the prosecution. To be honest, I didn't want to testify at first, but I couldn't hide the truth. Honestly, another admirable trait. Well, is it true that on that day of the crime, the defendant Rocky Kitaki confessed his plans? His plans for murder? Yes. The witness will please give her testimony to the court. It was the day that the family health checkup results came back. When Rocky found out that Dr. Milkits had lied, he flew into a rage. I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols. And you already know what happened that night. Just to see how anyone but Rocky could have done it. The pistol did belong to the Kataki family then. Yes, with regards to this investigation is underway at the Kataki Mansion on charges of the possession of illegal firearms. And the bullet that took the victim's life, was it fired from the pistol the defendant was killed? Yes, this has been proven. How can you prove something like that? Bullets carry marks from the barrel that fired them, called rifle markings. Rifle markings? Think of them as being a gun's fingerprint, left on every bullet that fires. And when did you first hear about Rocky's plan? It was the day of the murder. I should have stopped him. I just didn't think he would actually do it. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. It was the day that the family health checkup results came back. When Rocky found out that Dr. Americas had lied, he flew into a rage. I'll teach him, he said. He took one of the family's pistols. Hey, you know what happened that night? I just don't see how anyone but Rocky could have done it.
Hold it!
How can you say that for certain? How?
Objection!
Beforehand, you refrained from badgering the Ferran. It was the defendant, Rocky, was it? You took the pistol from his home. We know this for a fact now. I suppose we do. So, how could anyone else have used this pistol to shoot the victim? They could not. Simple logic, yeah? Does seem to be the case. Does the defense have anything to say regarding this point? Could someone else have used that pistol? Based on your testimony, there was clearly another. One other person had access to that pistol. What's this? Interesting. Let's ask the defense then. Tell the court who this other person with access was. Well, of course. I mean you, Miss Tiala. Me? But why? You were quite clear when you told the court. You heard about the pistol from the defendant on the day of the murder. In other words, you knew what he was planning.
Objection!
Let me get this straight. You intended to tell us that this lady stole the pistol from her fiancé? And killed a man in cold blood on his behalf? I've heard of people doing strange things for love, but this? It does seem a bit unfathomable, to be sure. I'm all for romance and for supporting your partner in life, to be sure. But I think I would hesitate at murder. I hope you do more than hesitate. What if a different connection could be proven? A connection between the witness and the victim. You might find that she had a personal motive beyond wanting to help her fiancé. That would put things in a slightly different light. What possible connection are you suggesting here? You know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think that the police never looked inside that safe. I have evidence showing a connection between the witness, Miss Tiala, and the victim. That looks like a medical chart. Found inside a safe at the military's clinic. I'd like to draw the court's attention to the names written on the chart. What? Miss Tiala? Whatever. Why is your name on this chart? Well, Care to explain the meaning of this, Miss Tiala? I'm not sure what you mean by meaning, Mr. Justice. Our woman or fiance just froze over. I was on staff at the clinic until half a year ago. It was boring, so I quit. That's all. Is there a problem with that? Miss Tiala! You testified that you had no connection to the victim. And I don't. Now? I quit half a year ago, didn't I? So there's no connection. Let me guess. You're the kind of guy who can't rest until he knows every little detail of his girlfriend's past. Am I right? That's not true at all. Why, I wish the ones I love. Objection! There's no connection now. Doesn't fly in a court of law. Doesn't fly? This is one tough nut. This probably feels right at home with the Katakis. You left your job at the Mirror's clinic, true. But you remain connected somehow. Very well, Mr. Justice. Just evidence that proves the witness is still connected to the Mirror's clinic. Take that! These sandals were found in the Mirror's clinic lobby. They're yours, aren't they? Well, who knows? Also, there are lots of people with those sandals. So sorry, Fulon, but your act isn't working. Your moment of hesitation just now cost you. What's with you? I thought you were on my side. Perhaps you are unaware that toes leave toe prints. A simple analysis of these sandals will reveal all. Well, now I see your true colors. I was wrong to cooperate with you from the beginning. I just want you to help get Walkie back on the straight and narrow. This court thinks you need to worry less about Walkie and more about yourself. It sounds as though we need to hear a bit more about your story. Your sandals were found in the entrance to the clinic, which means you were there on the day of the murder. Well, there's a little point in denying it. Very well. The witness will tell us about this visit. Why did you go to the Mirror's clinic that day? I did go to the clinic that day. First time in half a year since I quit in January. I went to warn him. After all, I knew Walkie had the pistol. The doctor always was a timid man. Too timid to admit his own mistake. That's where I have gone. I'm not hiding any dark secrets. I wanted to tell him to be careful, as an old friend. By mistake, you mean the mistake we heard about from the defendant? The botched operation? He was a timid, small man, but I never wished him harm. I just thought I should let him know. You know? That does make sense. Yes, but there's still one thing which does not. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? The sandals left in the lobby, of course. We can assume she lured these sandals to the clinic, yeah? Then why did she not lure them home? If it were me, I would have worn them home. I would have worn those sandals home too. So why were the sandals left behind? Ah, he pointed out the contradiction before me. There's probably a good explanation for this, right, Miss Tiala? Say, for instance, there happened to be a similar pair of sandals there which you wore home by mistake. Actually, that's right. I'm impressed, Mr. Gavin. Well, it is nothing. There is after all no other possible explanation. Your forehead? Oh, what the? No fair! He's filling the holes in her testimony. The defense may begin the cross-examination. I did go to the clinic that day. The first time in half a year since I quit in January. I went to warn him after all. I knew Rocky had the pistol. Doctor always was a timid man. Too timid to admit his own mistake. Why else would I have gone? I'm not hiding any dark secrets.
Objection!
This shot was found inside a safe in the doctor's office. Yes. Why would this one shot be in that safe? Miss Tiala, you knew why it was, don't you? Mind filling me in? Dr. Miritis didn't have the illusion of making mistakes. That's why he wrote up a false report and kept the truth locked away. Doctor? And this is where you come in, Miss Tiala. The nurse who fired this shot was you, which means you knew about Rocky's failed operation. Interesting. You are in the same position as Dr. Miritis. Kind of makes it hard to claim no connection, doesn't it? You're bold for a novice, I'll give you that. Mr. Justice, you must know I was only a nurse. The doctor is responsible for the chart's contents. This chart business seems to be quite important. Please amend your testimony accordingly. Too bad, little attorney. My voice is reacting again. What is it, Apollo? I felt my bracelet tighten just now. Your bracelet? Just like yesterday. Like you said. When a witness is unsure of something, their nervous habit gives them away. But I can't see anything, Apollo. Huh? What's my bracelet reacting to? Wait, maybe. Yes, that has to be it. What has to be it? Your senses, Apollo? It must be sharper than mine. Huh? I can't see it, but you can sense it. I don't know anything about that, Trucy. I don't have some kind of special power or anything. Listen to me, Apollo. There's a weak point somewhere in Miss Tiala's testimony. We don't know what her nervous habit is. Well, then what do we do? You have to perceive it yourself, Apollo, with your eyes and your senses. It's up to me and my bracelet. I don't know why, but the bracelet helps. Somehow touching it helps me focus. Let's give it a shot and bring down the testimony. Well, I go to clinic now for a half-year-old chart. Why go to the clinic for a half-year-old chart now, you ask? But you know why you would go now, don't you? I don't know what you're talking about. It was quite clear, Miss Tiala. You have a nervous habit. The moment you said the word now, you used your right thumb to fiddle with your wing. What? I was unsure. I saw it. Now, that's the key word. The chart wasn't a part of your past. It was a clear and present threat. That's ridiculous. Why, if that was the case, I would have had 6 months to do something about it. Indeed. Huh? Which means something happened quite recently. Something to make that chart a problem for you now. the ropes now. I can feel it. Time to strike the killing blow. With evidence. Miss Yara, there's no use trying to hide it. The truck became a threat to you now because of this.
Take that!
The health checkup report belonged to the defendant. The Katakis are trying to get out of the business. The health checkup this month was their first ever. What did you think when you heard about it? Huh? Oh, nothing. Why should I think anything? Oh, I think you were positively beside yourself. Because you were afraid. You knew what Wookie's chest x-ray would reveal. And for half a year had passed since the operation, you thought you were home free. When the truck came back to haunt you. Ah! That's all, Your Honor. What just happened? Did the witnesses admit to lying? I sensed it. There was a great awe emanating from her forehead. Very cool. So the lady was lying, it seems? That's correct. She said she had no connection to the Muritz's clinic. But her connection was deep indeed. A bit too deep. If the Kataki's got a hold of this chart with her name, she'll be finished. Isn't that right, Miss Tiala? You guessed it. Order, order! I did it! I broke her testimony! Amazing, Apollo! I didn't see it at all! Daddy was right about you. Wait! Miss Tiara? It's true! That chart was bad news for me. That's why I went to meet the doctor that day. But that's all! I told him about Waki and went home. It appears this cross-examination is far from over. What? She hid the truth from us. This is clear, yet it is not clear that this truth has anything to do with the case at hand. Very well. The witness will add to her testimony. And we'll have a bit more cross-examination. I was so close. You're still close. Keep on her, Apollo. Nothing happened at all. I warned him and left.
Objection!
You say nothing happened in the doctor's office? I disagree. Take a look at this. What's that? Looks like a squished up ball of clay. Kind of like you, actually. This bullet was found in the Meritz's clinic office. Something did happen. In that office, Miss Tiala!
Objection!
Nothing is sticking around. The police investigated that clinic.
Objection!
Ah, but this was stuck inside the doctor's safe. Inside the safe? I guess the police didn't check that far.
Objection!
But there is a problem. How can you say that bullet was fired on that day?
Objection!
Weren't you the one who explained rifling markings to us? The pistol was taken from the Kitaki Mansion that day. If the marks on this bullet match the motor weapon, then that proves the firearm was discharged in that office on the day of the murder. Not bad, ill forehead. Bailiff, have this bullet analyzed immediately. 20 minutes later, oh, Porter arrives. The rifling markings on both bullets are identical. Well, it seems as though the bullet in the safe was fired from the motor weapon. Perhaps the defense would like to state their position. The bullet in that safe proves one fact. A pistol was fired in the office on that day. At the time of the firing, the safe was open. The safe which contained a top secret chart. Do you think someone was threatening Dr. Muritis in order to open the safe? Only one person was in a position to do such a thing. Our witness, Alita Tiala. Order. Mr. Justice, where are you going with this? Are you accusing the witness? Alita Tiala knew about Waki Kitaki's botched operation. She got engaged to him without telling him about it. As long as that bullet remained in his chest, his days were numbered. What if she married him, and then the bullet finally reached its destination? What? That reminds me. Apparently, the Kitakis have been assaulting themselves in lawful business practices. They're making quite a great deal of money. A fortune, if you will. Furious. So she planned to marry him just to get her hands on his fortune? Objection! You keep talking trash about my Alita, and I'll sue you, lawyer man. Huh? Me? Yeah, you said you'd abuse my Alita. I think you mean accuse? Same difference. Well, you can't have her. She's mine. It was me. I shot that doctor. Me. He left me to die, so I left him to die, too. There in that park. Rocky, just cool down a sec. You keep your hands off my Alita. Wow. T. Miss Giala? I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've laughed so hard. Something funny? Rocky, wake up and smell reality. Alita, baby? The signature on that chart, the engagement? I mean, come on, it's so obvious. Even for a brainless, spoiled brat such as yourself. Alita. Hey, I wasn't getting out of this clean anyway. So, the family fortune is what you're really after. That's right. I want the money. No way. That's whack. I ain't trying to hear that. Should have done the wedding earlier. Oh well. By the way, can I ask you a question? Who? Me? I believe you said that you were going to abuse me? Accuse! Of what crime, might I ask? Huh? Oh, I'm a bad boss, so I got close to that brat because I wanted his money. But he was the one with the pistol. He could have fired it into the state after I already left the clinic. What? I would never do a thing like that. It was definitely that silly brat. Wait, but what are you talking about? Trucy? You had the most to lose if that chart was found. But I didn't have a pistol now, did I? Well, you could have taken walkies. Think you'd have mentioned that now? All I heard him say is it was me, I shot him.
Objection!
That's only because he's trying to protect you. Sorry to intrude in this lovely conversation. But the two of you are forgetting one critical point. What point? Certainly that Frulan wanted that chart. You seem to threatened the doctor into opening that safe, but then... Wouldn't she have taken the chart? Oh, you see? That so it wouldn't have been left in that safe. He's right. Miss Tiala. Yes? It is clear to this court that you're not a very good fiancé. Oh, I'm flattered. Perhaps it's time you told us the truth. Tell us about yourself, including your actions and whereabouts on that day. Don't forget, we're proving that you were at the Merites clinic on the day of the crime. Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I want that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You didn't have proof I stole that pistol, do you? That brat was spotted in the pocket at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it would matter if Dr. Merites was signed the temple or not. You went back later? That chart was dangerous, you understand? I need to get rid of it. That's why I went that day. But you couldn't get the chart then, could you? And later that night, Dr. Merites was shot. I heard about the shooting, went in a day, but then I had to go back. No easy feat with the cops all over the place. That was you? Apollo! That sound! It came from behind this door! Someone's in there. Break in! Left through that window! So you were that burglar! That was you two? If only I had one more minute. Then I could have opened that safe and gotten the chart. What? That's trespassing. And brazen at that! Oh. Is this a trial for trespassing now? Besides, you can't blame a girl for wanting to protect herself. They are gangsters, you know. In any case, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination. Admitting the little crime to avoid the big one, eh? Yes, I went to the clinic that day to speak to the doctor. I want that chart, but I failed to get it, so I went back to the clinic later. In any case, I didn't shoot him. You don't even have proof I stole that pistol, do you? And that brat was spotted in the pocket at the moment of the crime. Frankly, I don't think it matters if Dr. Merites was signed in the temple or not.
Hold it!
The doctor was signed in the White Temple, yes? So it seems. Let's review the facts again, shall we? The killer shot from this location. The bullet would have struck a victim's skull in the forehead. However, the entry wound was in the White Temple. Yes, we heard testimony on this yesterday. At the time of the shooting, the witness was standing here. Just before the gun was fired, he shouted. The victim turned his head to look and was shot.
Objection!
But that testimony was proven to be a lie. Outrageous panty snatcher Mr. Stickler did witness the crime, but he was standing to the north, next to the trash can where he tossed those panties. If Mr. Stickler sat up from this location, the bullet couldn't hit his right temple. Silly, silly attorney. What? Do you remember what you had for breakfast that morning? Do you remember, Trucy? I always have a glass of milk for breakfast. What matters is one thing. The doctor saw it in his right temple. If that's the case, there can only be one explanation. The panties guy was mistaken.
Objection!
But his location was proven. You can't write that off as him being mistaken.
Objection!
Then why don't you show us on the forehead? Show you? What? Must I explain everything? Very well, let's recap. If the witness Pet guy was standing to the north, then where was the shooter standing? What location did the killer shoot to the victim? Wait, if the witness was sitting there, could anyone shoot the victim in the right temple? I merely laid out the facts for her. There's up still one possessing that cyanide for her to show us. Can that is? Kentucky was standing at the killer mark. As he stuck at the witness mark, of course, Pal Meritus was at the victim mark. See what the fact has to say. Where was the killer standing when they shot the victim? As the facts say now, we can't explain this crime without contradicting ourselves at some point. But I know why. The real killer shot from an entirely different location. What are you talking about? I don't see any other place. Then, as the justice does, let's hear it. In the park, did the killer shoot the victim?
Objection!
It's simply the roof and the stakes. Huh? Penalties are such frightening things, don't you think? Or what if they were a bit more terrifying? Like so. Double penalty? If Fahad wishes to take us into a new direction, then he must be ready for the challenges ahead. Challenge accepted. It's justice time. Are you sure, Apollo? He is the witness, Mr. Stickler's testimony. We believe that, and we know where he stood. The victim turned when he shouted. There's only one place the killer could have been. The killer shot the victim from here.
Take that!
I believe we all owe a debt of gratitude to Miss Alita Tiala. What do you mean? Thanks to you, we had a chance to review the crime. And this time, we were prepared. We knew that Wesley Stickler was telling the truth. We should have listened to him from the beginning. Wesley Stickler was standing next to the trash can when he saw the two men. He shouted, just as he told us in his testimony. And the victim turned to look in his direction. A shot was fired. The victim was in the White Temple. Oh no.
Oh yes! Which direction was his White Temple facing at that moment? That's right, towards the noodle stand. Order. So you're saying the killer was inside the noodle stand?
Objection!
Let's think about this for a bit more, shall we? You say the killer was inside the noodle stand, which would mean the victim, Dr. Meritus, came to the park, wheeling his own motor in the cart behind him. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I think you'd notice if you were pulling someone along.
Objection!
There's something we should worry about before that. Why was he pulling the noodle stand in the first place?
Objection!
Let's deal with our problems one at a time, shall we? Someone was hiding in the stand. We have not come this far to talk about possibilities. Let's talk about proof, baby. Show us evidence that proves someone was in the stand. Can I prove that? You want evidence that someone's in that stand? I've got it right here. Intriguing. Let's see what you got. So as proof that someone was hiding in that noodle stand.
Take that!
The Meritus Clinic. And they're covered with paint. These slippers were found in the trash can near the crime scene. And a single slipper print was found at the scene. Right next to the noodle stand. Oh, and Miss Tiala? Your toe print was found in the left slipper. In other words, this is proof that you were inside that noodle stand! Ah!
Objection!
Yet there was only one slipper mark found at the scene. Can this be called a footprint in good faith?
Objection!
Of the diagram. A park pathway runs right next to the slipper mark. A slipper wouldn't leave a trace on a cobblestone path.
Objection!
Yet you still cannot say this is a footprint, yeah? Why not? You have been impressed left by a single slipper. What if it was on the stand and simply fell to the ground?
Objection!
That's a stub! One more thing. A noodle stand is typically flooded with the tools of the noodle making trade. There's no room for a person to ride in there. You have a point. Could someone have hid it in that stand? Hollow, I think I might be onto something. I think I figured out one of our pieces of evidence. In order to make room in the stand, some things would have to be... Well, Mr. Justice, do you have proof that someone could have hidden in the stand? I can prove one thing. Someone did scheme to clear space in that stand.
Take that!
This is a noodle bowl from the stolen Eldoom's noodle stand. Yes, and what about it? We discovered a large quantity of these bowls yesterday. In the lobby of the Meritus Clinic. A large quantity of noodle bowls in the victim's clinic? The surgeon was very clear about those bowls. Well, I don't care who did it about that stand, I'm finished. All my noodle bowls were in there too. Yet the bowls were removed. That night, there was space inside that noodle stand. Space created at the Meritus Clinic, no less. Right around the time that you were there, Miss Alita Tiala. Stop! I won't listen to any more of these wild fantasies. No, not fantasies. There were worse lies than that spoiled brat's pickup lines. I would like to remind the witness of her current status. This court does not consider you entirely innocent. Show me an innocent. I'll show you a fairy tale. In any case, the defense has somehow made its point. The witness had both a motive and an opportunity to kill Dr. Meritus. More fairy tales. This whole trial is a fairy tale. Then please force back down to reality, Miss Tiala. I'm giving you one last chance to explain yourself. This is it. What was Dr. Meritus pulling that stand that night? And what was Alita Tiala doing inside it? Time to get to the bottom of this case.